Okay, guys, this is what we're doing. We take 7 callers at a time to ask a question. You'll hit *6 on your phone. You'll call out the state you're calling from, please, 1 at a time. I'll call your state back to you, but please stay muted until it's your turn, either by hitting the mute button on your phone or by hitting *6 again to mute until it's your turn. And like Mike said, keep it to 1 question per caller. And please, we'd like to hear from some new callers. Don't be shy. And if there's any bankers or other countries out there, we'd love to hear from you, too.
Board's open.
All right, first date.
Oh,
no, Maryland.
D.C.
Georgia.
DC.
I got Maryland, Georgia, Texas, D.C. Hold on.
Arizona.
I said 1 at a time, guys. I've got Maryland, Georgia, Texas, and D.C. Arizona, Florida. Did I hear Florida?
St. Louis.
Florida. Michigan.
Okay, I got enough. Okay, this is what I have. Maryland, Georgia, Texas, D.C., Arizona, Florida, what was that?
California.
No.
St. Louis.
St. Louis, and then and Michigan, I believe, or Mississippi.
LZ.
Okay, now we've got that list for right now. So, Maryland, you are up.
Thank you. If I have a large amount of dinars to cash in and I would take them to a bank, do you think it's worthwhile making copies of them before I do so, or is that a moot point?
I did mine personally, but everybody has their own opinion on that. I did not color copies, just regular copies, just for my own records. Some people say it's not necessary. Mike, you want to answer that, or somebody else?
It's really personal preference. I mean, it's a good idea to be secure. You have a record of what you bought from receipts. You also have a record of those numbers. Make sure they're not color copies, because color copies can be considered counterfeiting. But you have to have the level of confidence in what you're doing, and it's always good to have a backup. You're never going to be wrong having too much documentation or too much backup.
Can I add
Thank
one
you.
thing to that real
ahead,
quick?
Yep.
I'm going to cash in at a bank where my dinars are not out of my sight. So I would suggest, if you could make that happen, to do the same thing.
Yeah.
Okay, because all the banks that we've been able to get to, everybody's saying they're going to have to ship them out because none of them have any verification tools local.
They do so. I've talked to several banks that do have the verification tools.
I will keep pursuing that. Thank you very much.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. Thank you, Maryland. Georgia, you are up.
Yeah, I have heard several, issues in the past about has the RV before we got a bankrupt, or vice versa. I guess, what's the take on that?
All right, did you get that, Mike?
Yeah, there's no one key for the RV. There are certain things that all need to happen. The RV is an independent event that happens independently of everything else. These things all need to happen. Some of them need to be out of the way. Being out of Chapter 7 doesn't cause the RV, but it helps them because it makes their currency stronger, so no one else can make claim on their money. So if they increase the value, and they owed a lot of people money and they were still in Chapter 7, they would have a lot of people coming after them, and that would cause a lot of people to sue them for their money. So it's a very healthy thing for them to be out of Chapter 7 before they RV. So, but one thing isn't going to cause this to RV, no one single event. But it's all good moving towards the RV, and it makes Shabibi's economy much better.
Okay, that makes sense.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Georgia. Texas, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Hi.
Okay, how's everybody doing? Okay?
Just great. How are you?
Okay, listen, you were talking about Alawi. I was on a conference call. I'm not going to name which one, but evidently he's been promoted. Evidently he's been promoted to Secretary General.
Of what?
Of the Arab League?
Of the government, yeah.
Well, we don't know. We haven't been able to verify that. That's why.
Well, I don't either. I don't either. I'm just commenting on it, okay? And he's not going anywhere. And supposedly he's been considered the father of the new Iraqi country. Now, that's what's going out. That's the articles that came out on another conference call. So evidently he ain't going nowhere. Now, and then my small question is, are they going to buy those armored vehicles or not?
Come off mute, Mike.
Sorry, no, they're not buying the armored vehicles. They're going to put that money towards the Arab conference in the budget.
Okay, so that's not going to happen in any time. Yeah. Okay, well, that's it for me. I just want to make a comment on Alawi, and that's it for me. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Have a good one.
Thank you, sir. Have a good one. D.C., you're up. Star 6, D.C. D.C.
That might have been BC, British Columbia.
I'm here. Hello?
Oh, hey.
DC?
Hi.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Good. After in RVs, what is the time frame to cash in? What is the longest time that you can cash in?
They've told us that there's the new currency and the old currency going to run concurrent for 2 years. So we believe there's going to be a 2-year cash-in period once they do the RV.
I understand. Well, if it's high or 3 or 4 or whatever it's going to be, then shouldn't we cash in immediately, or should it be soon, later?
Really, that's a personal decision that you need to make based on your situation. I think most of us have been in this a while. When we get the opportunity to cash in, we're going to go ahead and cash in. I think if you try to outsmart the system by 2 or 3, you can be outsmarted yourself. But the first thing we're all going to do when this thing RVs is wait a few days, see what's happening, make sure we got all the rules down for cashing in, seeing what's going on out there with the rates and the spreads and all that other kind of good stuff. Then we'll make our decision to go ahead and make the move to cash in, and we'll determine how much we're going to do. But it's very much an individual decision that you would do with yourself or having your tax people involved for tax consequences and all that other kind of good stuff. So personal decision.
All right. Thanks, Mike.
Thank you.
Thank you, Arizona. Right. Florida, you're up. I'm trying to think. I know we had a second question.
Can you hear me?
Florida? Yes, sir.
Yes. My question is basically in comparison to other countries in the Middle East. Spent about 20 years working in Saudi Arabia, yet their exchange rate is around low 30 cents per dollar, for their rial. And they're much high. They're really established. They have a fantastic banking system, communication system. You can go down to any ATM, you can go to any McDonald's. I mean, why do you think the dinar is going to be worth more than, say, the exchange rate of the Saudi riyal?
Basically because the central bank has told us that they want to be one of the strongest currencies in the Middle East and that they want to be very close to Kuwait. That's from the central bank, Dr.Shabibi. So that's where we take solace in that. You also have to remember that Saudi Arabia does a lot of transaction in U.S. dollars. They use the oil dollar, and they get kickbacks from the United States Treasury for every oil dollar and transaction that they make. So there's extra money that comes into their economy and builds their economy through that back door that they don't necessarily need to have a high exchange rate to enjoy the prospering from the oil. So they're set up a little bit different than any of the other countries in there because of their affiliation, association with the United States. And the association with our economy, and the economy being the oil dollar, so they benefit from that greatly. But the reason we think it's going to be higher is because Dr. Shabibi has told us from the central bank where he kind of wanted to be with this early on.
Yeah, well, watching Saudi Arabia, grow the same way they're talking about about Iraq. It took 20 years to get like the cell phone service up and the bank systems up after the 2 Gulf Wars and everything else like that. What do you think the time frame would be on this particular venture, getting the country up and running?
Looks like they're already up and running. I mean, they're there. They've got the banking system in place. They've got the cell phones coming in. They've got power and electricity. They've got everything that they need. Their banking system is in place. They're certified and all that kind of good stuff. So as far as we can see, they're ready to go. They're set up with the infrastructure.
So you're expecting a little better exchange rate because it'll look more favorably on them than like Saudi Arabia or some other country?
He must have muted. Mike?
No.
Oh, the answer is yes to your question.
Yes.
And with that, we're going to have to let you go and let some other people get in. We appreciate it.
Sure thing. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. That was Florida, right?
Yes.
St. Louis, you're up. St. Louis? Star 6.
Muted.
Diana, are you there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I'm here, honey, but it didn't. There it goes. Okay,
Unmuted.
I see it now. There you
Okay.
All right, St. Louis?
Yes.
Hi. St. Louis? Unmute your phone, St. Louis, star 6. I have an issue here.
go. Yeah. Hold on. Try it again, St. Louis.
Well, I'll go on to, I think it was Mississippi, and I'll come back to St. Louis.
Oh, okay.
I think it was Mississippi. It could have been Missouri. Star 6, one of those misses. What's going on? Is just somebody get muted?
I don't know.
Mississippi or St. Louis or Missouri?
Arizona?
No, we're not taking any right this moment, ma'am.
If you can hear me, whoever's operating the board's not doing it right because I keep getting muted on my call.
Maybe we should reset the room, Diana, you think?
I think so, because it's not a matter of operating the board. It's a glitch in the system. When people star 6, it just freaks out sometimes. Okay, I am.
Reset it.
It's happening.
Okay. Now
It's
you're gonna
reset.
you're gonna have to star 6 Mississippi or St. Louis, one of the two. Russell, can you unmute now?
I keep
St.
unmuting.
Louis?
You keep
Okay, go ahead,
unmuting me.
I keep unmuting you, but for some reason it keeps muting back, and I don't understand why.
But it's not my turn to talk.
I know, honey.
St. Louis?
Sorry.
St. Louis, go ahead, sir.
What's the last thing that needs to be done to RV?
Can you repeat that again?
The last thing that needs to be done to RV. We don't know what's the last thing to be done that is RV. That's the whole thing. We're looking at the things that need to be done inside the government to have them look like a government that's fully seated and ready to go. And Shabibi said once that happens, they'll consider RVing. But we and nobody else out there really has any idea what the last thing that needs to happen is the RV. But we certainly need to have a government that's intact, working like a government, and that's very important to the RV. So that's kind of the key piece we're looking at this point in time.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir. I think I had Mississippi. All right. I'm going to turn it over to you, Tim or Diana, because I'm going to go reset my board. It might help the problem here. So one of y'all take over, please?
Yeah, I'll be glad to get it.
Great.
Do you want me to do it, Diana, or you can help Debbie?
Go ahead, Tim. It's fine. Go ahead.
Okay. Who wants to go first?
Tennessee.
Tennessee or D.C.?
Tennessee.
Tennessee.
Australia.
Australia.
Australia. Again.
Connecticut.
Australia 2. What was that last one, ma'am?
Houston.
Houston.
Virginia. Connecticut.
Virginia,
Alabama.
Connecticut,
California.
Alabama.
Arizona.
Hang on. Alabama, California, and Arizona. We'll stop right there. It's a pretty long list. I got Tennessee, Australia 1, Australia 2, Houston, Virginia, Connecticut, Alabama, California, Arizona. And Tennessee, you're up.
Hey, Tim. How you doing again, buddy?
Good. Hope you are.
Yeah, I'm doing fairly well. Listen, I want to ask a question that was probably just asked, but I'll word it different, I guess. all of these things that are happening, that we're checking off our wish list, isn't the final or extremely important one that everything has to still be passed by Parliament?
Everything has been passed by Parliament, as far as the RV is concerned.
There may be some financial stuff, Tim, that needs to be passed. There's probably a couple banking things that need to go through. Is my best guess on what's left to go through Parliament, but a good chunk of it has already gone through Parliament.
Yeah, right. The RV's been approved. So.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I was just wondering if they were in need of possibly some type of super secret emergency Parliament session before the meeting even. And
it's possible that they need to pass a few things, just for the operation of the government and things that they want to do. The government may need to do to tidy some things up. But as far as the RV is concerned, is pretty much they've got what they need from Parliament for all of that to happen.
Okay. Yeah, that makes total sense. I just, I think we're all thinking real strong about the end of the month.
We all are, but always be prepared for anything else to happen too. So, I like to keep everybody even mind because that's what gets everybody going out there. We've got high hopes on that, but we don't know what we don't know. We don't know what can happen, or what they may need, or what he's thinking.
I knew you were going to say that. I knew you were going to say that.
Yeah, Mr. Optimistic here.
Hey, we appreciate
it. Thank you.
Huh?
We appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Tennessee. Australia 1.
Yeah, g'day, mate. It's Coach Tony here. Buonasera, Diana.
Buonasera.
Hey, guys, a lot of great news, and thanks for doing everything you do. It's wonderful. I love languages, as Diana probably knows by this stage, and I'm always intrigued by the fact that the only guy in the world, it seems, that gets called the appearance of. I reckon the whole IQD team should, from this point on, be named like the appearance of Straight Talker Mark, the appearance of Diana, the appearance of Debbie. I don't think that Mohammed Saleh should be the only guy in the world to get that. What's your thoughts on that?
Oh, I'm blushing. I don't know about you, Debbie. I am blushing.
That's awesome.
Wow.
What is with that, the appearance of? Does he look like the guy or doesn't he? Is he the guy or isn't he?
I think it's almost like a term of endearment that they use that doesn't translate well. It's like a high honor that they give him in the appearance of is what I kind of think that, and it just doesn't translate to anything that we have in our language but that.
Okay, well, I'll try it on my wife this evening, and I'll let you know how it gets on, how it works.
Good luck.
Thanks, guys.
Now I'm really blushing.
Hey, thanks, guys. I'll hand it over to Australia too, eh?
Okay.
Thank you, Coach. Russell, you're up.
Yeah, mate. I think for the appearance of probably means g'day, mate, but I'm not sure.
Yeah, I'll take that too.
Whereas Americans might say, here's looking at you, or whatever. But I've only just come into the call, so I've missed most of what you've been talking about. But I heard someone saying a bit about what's got to be done in Parliament and so on. I don't think anything has to be done to the RV as far as the Parliament goes. Parliament's fully seated. It's been operating for months and months and months, on and off. There's nothing directly that has to be done in Parliament that needs to be done to the RV. There are some things that definitely do need to be addressed, though, by Parliament, and that don't have to do with the RV, but they include laws regarding contracts and so on after the RV. There's going to be a lot of all contracts are going to have to be physically changed because the repayment schedules are in millions of dinars on mortgages and loans and whatever. and that all has to be changed, and you can't just go and change something without it being legally done, and it's a nightmare logistically, I would think. And a law has been proposed to be passed, all-encompassing, that will allow contracts to be changed without them having to go to court, etc., to have them changed legally, so that repayments will be able to be made in hundreds of dinars a month instead of millions of dinars a month. That's one. The other one is regarding the banking system. It's in a shambles. Most of it's 30 years old. They don't have proper up-to-date practices. There's hardly any credit cards in the country or debit cards or anything like that. All that sort of stuff's got to be updated. That's been addressed. We know that for a fact because of a report that came out in September from the World Bank regarding the mess that Iraq's banking system is in, and they've said that it has to be brought up to date. A lot of the banks are private banks, so they can't access funds from the IMF banks, like the central bank. Private banks have to get funds from borrowers, lenders rather, which is very difficult, especially in the current state of the world's economy. And I don't know how they're going to do that, because these private banks are all, most of these private banks are Islamic banks. They operate under Islamic law, where you're not allowed to charge interest rates and everything else. So I don't know how they're going to address that, but that's, once again, has got nothing to do with the RV.
Let me step in and correct a few things here with some information that I know of, that we've read. One, there's only 2 Islamic banks. They're just brand new Islamic banks. So you have the private banks that are there, and only 2 of them have Islamic standards right now from the articles that we've read. To the article that we read this evening, and you didn't come in on it, was that the Parliament wants to pass a law about deficit spending, being allowed to borrow. This is how they're going to open up the private banks to the projects that are going on in Iraq, is they're going to pass a law to let these projects that are going on in Iraq go to these local banks and borrow. And that's the next thing on Parliament's agenda to go ahead and do.
What will they borrow if these local banks don't have any money?
Well, they'll have deposits. They'll put money on deposits. They'll have loans. They have, all of them have.
Where will they loan it from?
They have to have the CBI has deposit standards. They have to have so much money in assets. That's why they've taken over the Warka Bank. It's because they dropped below the funds that they had to have inside those banks. So they have, even the IMF has given them the okay on their banking system as of about a month ago, and they're electronically done with ATMs, and they've been issuing credit cards and debit cards over the last 6 months. So they've picked up tremendously with their banking system over there, from what we read in all the articles. And I've got firsthand knowledge of people who have actually put a lot of the banking, the internals into the banking systems over there with the transaction systems. They laid a cable so that they're connected. All those international banks are connected to Europe over the internet, and they're all laid in. So their banking system is in much, much better shape than anybody's given it credit for. And this last article we read about the IMF saying that they were fine with the banking system. They gave them 6 months last September to clear up some things, and they're even on BIS standards now too with all the banks that they've got. So what they're lacking is people depositing money into the accounts. They've got, projects that they can loan and deposits from outside the country that are there, and some government deposits. But what they really need is to get the people interested in loaning and putting money into the banks so that they can get better, and that's what they're working on right now. So, but there's a lot going on the banking system end that has really, really been tremendously upgraded over the last year and a half.
I'm skeptical.
Yeah, you can be, but that's what we read, and I'm a lot less skeptical because I actually have people that I know that have gone over and worked on those projects personally, so I know what their companies do and what they've put in over there. So, but We'll have to see. Only time will tell.
Yeah, and Mike, that cable was laid last year and it was tested, so everything's fine with it.
The other issue is someone said, I heard someone say that they've got electricity up and running and communications and everything else. I think you'll find that the only place that's got 24-hour electricity is Kurdistan. The rest of the country certainly doesn't.
They're up to about almost 12 hours by summer for the rest of the country, is what we've read, for power. Most of them are on about 6 to 8 hours right now, outside of the regular one.
Yeah, that's not what I'd call everyone's on electricity. If you're only getting 6 or 8 hours a day, that's ridiculous.
Well, I understand, but it's a war-torn country, and things aren't going to get done overnight. And it's just impossible. You know, they're coming up from where they're at, and we're just not going to debate what state they're in. You know, we're looking at the articles, and it's all for naught, and we'll have to see what happens from this point forward. So we're going to let you go. We appreciate your time.
Yeah, there's just one other thing, and that was that the only thing, in my opinion, my research, the only thing that needs to be done to get this RV is for Maliki to agree, from Maliki to get the Chapter 7 taken off. I know Chapter 7's not essential, but he is making it essential. So if he can get an agreement with the United Nations to lift Chapter 7, you'll see the RV, I would think, within 1 day of that happening.
Yeah, it looks pretty good because they got Kuwait on their side now, so that looks to be very much moving in a very positive direction right now.
Thank you, Russell. And if you want to get back in later, just holler back out.
Yeah.
Houston, you're up. Houston, Texas.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Thanks a lot for taking my call. It's kind of funny that we had two Australian guys on the phone because my question has to do with something that was on the blog about Australian television announcing that the realignment of the world currencies will happen Friday. And I was just wondering if you guys had heard anything about that.
Personally, no, I haven't heard any of that. I really doubt that they would announce anything like that on TV because no one would really know that that's going to transpire. It's done all in secrecy so that nobody can have an arbitrage situation where anybody would have an advanced knowledge of what's going to take place so that they can take a financial advantage of it. So any of those rumors that I hear like that usually are not true. Like last week we heard people were cashing in London and the banks were giving them $4 and they had to hold it, blah, blah, blah. Well, this week we're hearing none of that because it's all just rumor that's unprovable. Anyone can get out there and say that, but in any type of realignment or RV, it's going to be a very quiet situation so that no one can really take an arbitrage situation and know exactly when that day is or kind of time that day, so they're very quiet about it.
I guarantee
if it does happen on Friday, if it happens on Friday, we'll let everybody know by Sunday.
Take it with a grain of salt.
Tim, we got to keep on going. You got a long list there, buddy.
Yeah.
All right, how about it?
Thank you, Houston. Virginia, you're up. Virginia.
Yes, I'm here. My question is in regards to the first article that we read where the central bank is talking about dropping the 3 zeros and printing new currency. Seeing as how we don't have the new currency and they're dropping the 3 zeros, the 25,000 dinar banknotes that we have, is that going to be worth 25 dinar or 25,000 dinars?
25,000 dinar.
You get 1,025 notes.
Yeah, you don't have to worry about any of the new currency because we're not going to have to.
You won't see it.
We won't see it. We're just going to cash in. We're going to get value. We're not going to do anything that has to do with that. So there's really no need for you to be concerned about the new currency. That's for the in-country that they're going to be exchanging currency. We'll just exchange our currency for whatever the value exchange rate is here at the bank.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Virginia. Connecticut, you're up.
Hello. I'm asking only one question, and that is concerning the serial numbers on our dinar.
Okay.
Is that? I was looking at it. There's different places on the 25, the 10, and actually I have a 1,000 as well. And how do I figure out where that serial number is?
The serial number is it's in a different color. It's raised. You should be able to feel it with your hand, and they're all in Arabic.
I don't know if I can feel that with my hand.
You could barely feel it. It's just a slight little bump.
It's like I'm looking at a 25,000 note, and it says like a backward C over a 9V, and then
that's the serial number. That's it.
Okay, and then so that must be the other on that 10,000. Yeah, okay. For some reason, I expected to look at it and see it in American, and that certainly doesn't make sense, does it?
How are all these dinar people doing?
No, there's no English numerals on there, so.
Yeah. Well, God bless you guys. You're great.
Thank you, Connecticut. God bless you, hon.
Thank you.
Alabama, you're up. Alabama.
Yeah, it's Alabama.
Yes, sir.
Hey, so I've heard, I think it was from Mike, that the latest the new dinar would come out would be September. Is that the latest it would possibly be RV then?
Yes.
Okay. So September is the drop dead date. Is that like a set in stone, if law passed or something?
No, not set in stone. I mean, they set that, the CBI has set that as their latest date to bring out that new currency, and we feel that you have to have that new currency to come out. Is there anything that can stop that or make it go further than that? We don't know, because we don't know what they need, what they're doing. It's all a speculation on our part, trying to guess based on what they're telling us. So he's given us a drop-dead date of getting that currency out in September, and we'd assume that you can't bring out worthless currency and coins without having some sort of RV to give those coins some value, because it just wouldn't make economic sense to do that. So that's why we come to the conclusion of that.
Well, it was just something that Shabibi said. It's nothing that Parliament passed this law or anything, right?
That's correct. That's correct.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Appreciate your work.
Thank you, Alabama. California, you're up.
California. Hello.
Hello.
Okay, I read one article today, and it's spooky. I know he ended up saying that it's going to take up till September to RV, but it doesn't matter. RV won't be legal till June. Now, that's spooky. What's that all about?
Where did you read that article?
Where did you read that article?
Should I tell you?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know if it was legal or ethical or immoral or something like that. I read it from Breiling.
Was it an article or was that his opinion?
His opinion.
Okay.
Yeah,
so that's just his opinion. So if I can't comment on his opinion. You need to write him an email and ask him about that. From his standpoint, I don't have that same opinion. So
okay. But you never heard of anything being legal by June?
No.
No.
Okay.
Nothing
That's
that we've
what I was
read or
scared
seen.
about.
Yeah, nothing that we've seen or heard from our side. Okay?
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you, California. Arizona. Okay, I'm going to start another list. I'll come back to Arizona.
Flint? Arizona, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can now. Go ahead, hon.
Oh, thank you. This sounds like a very simplistic question, but the first caller asked about taking photocopies of our dinar, and I'm really trying to figure out how that can be accomplished in privacy.
Let's get your machine.
Yeah, so what are people doing?
Well, you can scan it on your computer, would be the simplest thing.
I don't have a computer. I just have an iPad.
Oh. Well, you'll have to find a friend with a printer and I guess buy them a lot of ink.
Can you hear me? She could take pictures with her phone or a camera, a digital camera.
That's a thought.
And then load it right onto a computer.
Good idea.
With a digital camera. Okay, so you're feeling that we're going to, the way they described, that we're going to take each of our dinars and match it to the copy page when we go to the bank. So our stack that's now just in a rubber band is going to be a huge stack of papers because there'll be 4 notes attached to each piece of paper that we then sign the bottom of, and the bank then signs that, yes, they received those from us.
Well, there again, that's if they ship them off. That gives you evidence that they received them. But if they're counterfeit, or they say they're counterfeit, they're not going to give them back to you.
Right. But that's the procedure that we should go through?
The procedure that I'm going to go through is watch them count my dinar and watch them credit my account.
And how can we find a bank, even though I'm in a major city, because this is, no banker will really admit that they do this. I know you guys have special contacts, but how's
Nobody
that
has special contacts, but what we have to do is wait. There's not going to be anything that you're going to be able to do before the RV. Once the RV happens and you wait, then you'll be able to talk to the banks and see what they're going to do and how they're going to handle it, because right now it's not a tradable currency. So you're going to walk in and talk to people, and they're going to look at you, and it's going to be very difficult for them to say anything because they don't have any procedures set up for it. Once this happens, then they will have procedures set up for it, and then you'll be able to have a better conversation with them. So one of the things that we're encouraging everybody to do is just kind of see what happens. We're going to get the RV, and we're going to see what happens and how that procedure works, come back to the call, and we'll be able to give better advice on banks and what they're doing and how they're handling that.
And that's a big reason not to rush into anything.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Thank you very much. You guys do a wonderful job.
Thank you, Arizona.
Thank you.
Flint has a question.
Is that Michigan?
Yes, sir.
Okay, I'll put you on the list. Who wants to be
Thank
next?
you so much.
Florida 1. Florida 1.
Okay, Florida. Alabama. Anybody after Alabama?
Connecticut.
Connecticut.
Maryland.
Texas.
Nebraska.
California.
And we'll stop with California. Okay. Michigan, you're up.
Yes, sir. Flint, I have over the last few... Oh, yeah, by the way, thank you, everybody out there. You are the sanity-stricken ones here so far. It's very refreshing to listen to what is happening instead of what is happening in somebody's mind. And appreciate you guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay. That's great. All right. I've been hearing basically that the summit meeting is the 27th to the 29th, and I've been hearing this other kind of thing about this September thing. Now, as with everything that's come together to make this RV happen and take place, a few of you have put it pretty much in the little picture of, well, they have to have a currency that is worth something. There's all of this summit meeting, there's a whole idea, all these contractors and all of this is going to put them on the map economically and make the whole financial thing turn and work for them. The whole summit meeting is the place where they go in with their real live currency and get a piece of the world pie, and that's what it's all about. So this other thought about something happening in September, how could that even be a thought worth considering? This RV has to take place before and in Baghdad during this 27th, 29th. Isn't that, I mean, anything else is just la-la land. They wouldn't have anything to do with anything if they can't accomplish that to be even, I mean, they have to have a currency. That's what the whole thing is about, right?
It does, but there's no time frame on when they have to have that currency. When they have that currency,
there is a time frame for the summit meeting.
That's correct. And it would look very good for them to go to the summit with an RV currency, but it's not a necessity for them to go in with an RV currency, because people will still come, they will still invest, because they know at some time in the future, just like we say, that there's going to be value there. You know, it's value over time versus the money that you put in that most investors look at, and it's the long-term value that they look at. So they're not looking at it as a short-term fix for them or a short-term proposition for them. It's a long-term value proposition for them.
So this actually could not. It is very possible this might not revalue then until a later date.
That's correct. You need to be ready for that if that happens. But there are lots of things that are going in that direction that tell us that they're moving towards that direction. So yes, you have to be very, very careful, because the RV is independent of anything that goes on out there. These are all just cogs that are, you know, they're there. So one thing is not going to make this thing RV or have to RV. They can get around any of those situations, you know, politically, whatever that is. But it's a long-term value proposition for most of these people who are investing from that.
I didn't recognize it to be something like that. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
I know
you're
now
welcome.
I will probably buy more dinar if that's the case. Thank you.
There you go. Buy what you can afford. Don't overbuy.
Right.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you. You guys are great.
Thank you, sir. Florida, you're up.
Hello, IQD team. Ken down here in Florida.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, I had an epiphany, kind of an epiphany today. Mike, I want to get your opinion on this, so go off of mute. You know, it seems like Iraq is doing just the opposite of what Kuwait did. Now, when Kuwait was going to RV their currency, and we didn't know they were going to RV their currency, they kept telling people, you know, oh, we're not going to RV the currency. They even came out with I think a full-page ad saying they weren't going to do it a week before, and then, like, right after that, they RV their currency. Now, they did everything in short term. It seems like they did everything in pretty much short term. They didn't have very much electricity on, and, man, they were in a lot worse dire straits than what Kuwait is, than what Iraq is right now. Now, compare that to what's been going on in Iraq. Okay, so it seemed like Kuwait did everything in short term and said they weren't going to do it, and then they did it in short term. Now, Iraq, what have they been doing? They've been telling us, Shabibi's been telling us since last July, oh, we're going to take the 3 zeros off the currency very soon, quote unquote, and making statements and articles, coming out with articles like that. The last article was just the other day that came out. He said that, quote unquote, they were going to, let me see, I want to phrase this right, basically that they were going to lift the 3 zeros and make the Iraqi dinar significantly, quote unquote, significantly stronger against the U.S. dollar. When? In a few days. I mean, I know we can't take everything they say literally, but they've been doing everything just the opposite of what Kuwait's been doing, even though they're progressing very, very much faster than Kuwait did. I wanted to make that point there. I think you see where I'm going, and I want to get your comment on that. Thanks, Mike.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Yeah, I mean, it is, and it's just because they're two different situations, you know. Kuwait was not under a dictatorship. They had banking systems. They had good leaders. Iraq was under a dictatorship. It still was being built from the ground up. They had no real banking system. It was all controlled by the government. So the situations are much different. But, yeah, it seems like exactly the opposite of it. And that's what it is. When you get involved in currency exchanges, it's very, very difficult to try to time any of this stuff because they don't want you to time it. They put a lot of information out there to try to throw you off and do all that kind of stuff because they want to keep everybody at bay because they don't want to create that arbitrage situation. And it is a different situation from the ground up. And I think that's the unique thing about this is we're kind of watching the birth of an economy more so than we are, you know, one single RV event where you already had most of that infrastructure that just needed to be rebuilt. And the citizens were used to having their money in banking and wanted to get back to that kind of lifestyle very quickly. And this is sort of the opposite. They have the ability to wait over time because the citizens have never really tasted that type of wealth. And
But Mike, the longer they wait, the more people buy dinars. The more every day, more and more people are buying dinars. I mean, that certainly can't bode well for them in the future when they do decide to RV. I mean, I know they're restricted out over 10 years and all that. But
you got to realize that, because people are buying it in America, it doesn't mean they're buying it, in Iraq. They're
buying it in Australia. We know that.
Yeah, they're buying it, but it's not an infinite supply. It's a finite supply, and there are buyers and sellers every day. So although it may look like there's a lot of buyers, there are a lot of people who get frustrated and sell and leave and forget it because it's they've waited 8 years. They don't want to wait any longer. So that's the other side of the coin is there's a huge market for buying and selling dinars. So we don't know what that is because we can't track it. So I'd assume it's an extremely large amount. And all the dealers, they all want to buy it back too. So it doesn't hurt him outside the country because he doesn't care. Where it hurts him is inside the country. So he's not concerned about you, me, anybody outside the country. He's concerned about inside the country.
I guess I'm probably voicing everybody else's frustration out here where, it just seems like, they've got everything ready to go and, why are they waiting? I mean, it's to me at this point right now, it just doesn't make any more sense. So I'm probably voicing everybody's, frustration.
Let me put into this, and we got to let you go to get some more callers, and this will be my last comment on it, and we're going to let you go. This RV is not for us, although we think it is. It's for the people of Iraq, and sometimes we're in this, and a lot of us have financial situations that would like to get cleared up, and we lose sight of the fact that this RV is not designed for us. It's designed for the people of Kuwait. And when it benefits the people of Kuwait, in the eyes of Dr. Shabibi, he will do it. He is concerned nothing about you, me, or anybody outside of his country. So,
well, we're helping them. I mean, we're investing in their country. So, by investing in their currency, we're investing.
Not necessarily, and I'm going to have to let you go because we want to get some other people in. That currency is already outside their country, so you're buying it, you're holding it. Eventually, it goes back to them, but it's not really an investment. An investment in their country would be going over there and actually, building something, putting money into their bank, that type of stuff. Actually, holding their currency is really not considered buying a part of an investment for Iraq or that.
Okay, so, thanks a lot, guys. I really appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
I was talking to myself.
Okay.
Thank you, Ken. Atlanta, you're up.
Hello?
Hello.
Oh, this is California. I'm sorry.
I'm looking for Atlanta.
You cut out on me. I'm sorry.
Atlanta. Okay, we'll come back to Atlanta. Connecticut.
I'm sorry, did you call California?
Not yet.
Hello, this is Connecticut.
Okay, Connecticut.
Hi. I was wondering if this scenario makes sense to you. I know I can't say how much I have, and I'm not going to, but I have some 25,000 notes and some 10,000 notes, and I have some 1,000 notes. I was wondering if it made sense when the RV happens if I would go to the bank and cash in 2 or 3 of the 1,000 notes and just wait on the rest. Because I do need the money, but I certainly don't want to, deal in big things that I don't know enough about because I've got to set some things up. But I would like to free up some money, and I just thought that it would be a good idea to cash in 2 or 3 1,000 notes.
Yeah, you may want to talk to your tax attorney, but I see what you want to do. You want to get enough seed money to where you can afford your tax attorney and everybody else. I don't see any harm in it, but remember, anytime you cash it or convert it to American dollars, it creates a taxable event.
Yeah, tax event, yes.
Yeah, so make sure you do. But that's a good strategy to have. And then it gives you the ability to wait and not feel pressed to do something and get good information and then move on from there. So it's a very
when you say creates a taxable event, I understand that it is a taxable thing to exchange that money, but does that alert the tax people, alert the IRS? What in terms of taxable event, what does that do?
Yes, that's exactly what happens. It creates a form that goes to the IRS that lets the IRS know that you cashed in X amount of dollars for this value. So they have something to compare when you file your income tax returns. So that you can't.
Okay, so it happens right then and there.
It's over $3,000.
Doesn't matter if it's more or less. It's going to create that event, and it's going to create that form and that notification to the IRS.
Over $3,000, it creates that notification to the IRS. But the event itself, but just cashing it in, you would be required to fill out your income tax and record that as a taxable event. But anything over $3,000 then gets reported to the IRS. And you can read more about that on our website. We have some information about that to clear that up for you. And pre- and post-RV, you'll find a lot of stuff there to help clear that up for you, all righty?
Okay, super.
Thank you.
Blessings. Bye.
Thank you, Connecticut. Alabama one more time. Alabama, *6.
Hey, Tim.
Oh. It's Alabama?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I just want to back up the caller earlier that was talking about allowing getting the promotion to secretary or whatever it was, but I'm not going to say it. Joey said to give the credit to KJ or somebody, that she was the only one that brought the article out yet so far, and that was on their conference call, the last one. So just to let y'all know that, and she thought that it was a higher position than Maliki. So I'm just backing up that statement. I did hear it.
Okay.
We don't have that article, sir, so, maybe you could send it to us, but we don't have that article.
No, I hadn't read it. I'm just saying it was on that call. They did say it. But
okay,
thank
well,
you
that's
for everything
good.
y'all do.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alabama. And if you happen across the article, just email it to us, and we'll go over it.
All right, I've been searching. Y'all have a good evening.
You do the same, sir. Maryland, you're up. Maryland. Okay.
Hello.
Yes, sir.
All right, sorry about that. I remember you all talking about when the RVs is going to come out, I think 20% over Kuwait or something like that.
It can.
It can, right. If it doesn't, what's the lowest it could come out? 1-to-1?
$1.17 or so.
$1.17, okay. So which would be at 17 cents more than 1-to-1, correct?
Correct.
All right, thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir.
All right, Tim.
Appreciate it. Texas.
Tim?
Yeah, Mike.
I need to take 5.
Okay, help yourself.
Thank you, buddy.
Yes, sir. Texas.
Here's Texas. Can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
I have a couple of short questions. If I'm rather unlucky, this might happen when I leave the country for about 10 days.
Mm-hmm.
But from what you said recently, just a little while ago, it may not make any difference since you said just to kind of wait a little bit anyway when this happens.
Sure.
That would not be something to worry about, right?
No, just make sure your dinar are in safekeeping and enjoy your time out of the country.
Well, that may make my trip more enjoyable.
It'll make you want to come back home sooner. I can promise you that.
It will. When I go to cash out, would the bank offer me the services of a private banker and a tax attorney, or would that be something I should do on my own?
It really depends on how many dinar you hold, and there's different brackets of wealth management in the banks. There's like 3 different levels, but if you have enough dinar, your private banker should be able to help you find a tax attorney and put together the rest of your team.
So if that's the case, then they probably would mention it, that they could do that first.
Sure. Now, we have a lot of things on our website that you can check on private bankers, questions that you can ask. So
I have seen those.
Okay, yeah. Print those out, and, you know, it's questions you want to ask your personal banker, private banker. And
Okay.
also, you can add to the list, so just don't leave it at that list. Anything you want to ask, ask.
Okay. One more quick question. I have copied the dinar in color. Should I redo that in black ink then? I was listening to a conversation earlier.
I would write copy across it.
Okay.
Where
across
it's evident
the colors,
that you're... Yeah, just write copy all the way across the sheet of paper where it's evident that you're not trying to do anything illegal.
I see. Yeah. Well, I didn't realize there was a problem with it when I did that.
Yeah, it's against the law.
Yeah. Oh, okay. Okay. Well, I'll take care of that then.
Yeah, just write copy across it. You should be okay.
Okay. Well, thank you so much. You have been such a huge help for months and months.
Well, thank you, Texas.
So I appreciate it.
I hope you have a good trip, hon.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Nebraska.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir. You're a little light coming in, though.
All right. Okay, how about now? Is that better?
Yeah, that's a lot better.
All right. First of all, I want to thank you guys so much. I think we all should hit the donate button tonight, at least $5 or more. Come on.
Well, thank you. That's mighty nice.
I have a very unique question. With all of this dinar that has transferred in every different country, do you think it's somewhat of a political gain that would they announce that we have helped either A, clear up some of this deficit or done some of the good, the Iraqis have done some of, with their RV of their dinar. Do you think that this would have some political gain for the United States alone to help them along with this RV?
I'm not really quite following you. Us helping the Iraqis along with the RV?
No, would the United States itself benefit with us having millions of dinar to exchange in?
Oh, sure we will.
Does that have some political gain?
Well, it surely wouldn't hurt anything. When we cash out, all ours is going to go to the Federal Reserve, and which is our central bank. It's to be traded back for oil at $33 a barrel. But, Dr. Shabibi, he can call and say, hey, I want X amount of dinar now, and naturally we'll send it to him. But
I just thought that maybe we would help, because a lot of us that are cashing in are definitely going to help do something for the economy. There's no doubt.
Oh, yeah, when you quit your job, you're going to create a job for somebody else. So it's going to create lots of jobs. You'll open a business most likely and hire a few people. And the job you left, there's another job opening. You're going to be buying things, buying cars, buying houses, having houses built. If you get into commercial development, you'll be building shopping centers. You'll be putting a lot of people to work.
Yeah, because Iraqi news said that there was a treasury team in Iraq helping them along with this, not with the RV itself, but rebuilding their economy. And I thought, it was kind of interesting that I thought with the United States, we might be helping them along a little bit. We might want to make that a little public. Right. I just want to thank you guys very much. I think everybody should hit the donate button.
Well, thank you, Nebraska. We appreciate it.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. California, it's your turn. California. *6.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can, sir.
This question was from Mike on a statement he made Tuesday night. Is he back yet?
I don't see him back yet.
I told him to take 10.
Okay.
You want me to
put you down on another?
Me, sir?
Sure, we'll put you down. I'm going to go ahead and take another list.
I'm
probably turn it over.
I'm sure you can answer the question, but it's something that he directly stated, and that's the only reason I want to ask him.
Okay, well, that's fine.
Okay.
I'm going to take another list, and I'll put you at the bottom of it, and then I'm going to turn it over to Diane as soon as I take the list.
All right, thank you.
Yes, sir. Who wants to go first?
Arizona.
Arizona.
Wisconsin.
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 Did I hear Michigan again?
Yes,
New York.
Michigan.
Wisconsin.
New York. I got
Virginia,
Wisconsin.
Virginia.
Okay, Virginia. I got you.
Oregon?
Oregon?
Colorado was before Oregon.
Texas.
Tim,
Okay.
Colorado was before.
Okay.
Colorado.
And we're going to add California to the end. Diana, this is what I got. You put Colorado where they belong. I've got Arizona, Wisconsin, Missouri, or is that Mississippi? I think it's Missouri. No, that's Michigan. I'm sorry.
Hey, take Michigan off.
Okay.
Sorry.
Delete Michigan. New York. Got Virginia. Oregon, Texas, Colorado, and California with a question for Mike.
Okay, got it. Okay, Arizona, you're up. If you're not speaking, please star 6 until it's your turn. There's too much noise on the board, people. If we have to mute you, then you're going to have to call back in. So please, if you're not asking your question at the time, keep yourself muted. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Arizona, you are up.
Thank you for taking my call. Thank you for taking my call, and you guys do a great job. On the article on Alawi being promoted to Secretary General in Iraq, you may read the article on my dinarnews.com. My dinarnews.com website. You may read.
Where's the caller go?
I don't know. It looks like she got muted. Hang on, let me.
Okay.
She
the board's
muted back.
messing up. I don't know what's going on with the board again.
Now she's unmuted again. Now she's muted again. I don't know
solar flares.
Could be.
Okay. Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, Wisconsin. I don't know what's going on with the board. I mean, Arizona. Wisconsin, you're up, please.
Okay, Wisconsin here. I have a question about the tag accounts, but as an aside, I'd like to mention that yesterday my friend and I went into the Wells Fargo Bank here in town, and it wasn't a central bank. We only have like 5 banks here, and none of them is a central bank. And we inquired about our dinars, and they sent us to the wealth management side, and that guy kind of blew us off and sent us to somebody in the personal banking side. And when we went to the personal banking side, we met a very pleasant lady who'd been in the bank 13 years. And we were maybe 5 minutes into the conversation, and she admitted that she had, she owns dinars, and her boss owns dinars. And then another 5 minutes into the conversation, she took them out of her desk and showed us that she had $800,000 worth of dinars. And it kind of blew me over that she even let us in on that. And we had a good conversation with her. We made a personal contact. And while she admitted that they are neither dealing in them or doing anything with them, she kept bringing it up on the screen and said she's watching it, but they're doing nothing. So I guess the personal contact is important at this time. We certainly have one there now, and we have a friend in the bank. And so now my question, if you don't mind, I'm inquiring about the tag accounts. These are the accounts where we're supposed to put our money in, and it would be guaranteed up to any amount. Transaction guarantee accounts, they're called, and they pay no interest. And my understanding was that they were set aside just for the dinar. Now the question that I got into with the bank is she said she has several people who have come in that she knows about that have the dinars, and they have opened no interest accounts, checking accounts. But my understanding is that does not qualify for a tag account. And she sort of admitted that, and she said that when things happen, they will probably get a memo and an email, and then they will respond to what they have to do and how they have to do it. So my big concern is this. If people go in and cash in their dinars and put them into no-interest checking accounts, just simple no-interest checking accounts, they will probably lose the ability to move those funds then into the tag accounts that is insured up to any amount of dollars and also is going to be paid off in Treasury bills rather than in Fed bills. Any comment on that?
Sir, let me answer the question this way. With the tag accounts, from what our understanding is, if I have this correct, those tag accounts are going to be gone probably within the year. We're not sure exactly when that is, but I don't believe they're going to be lasting more than about a year.
Yes, they're due to pay off by December 31st of this year.
Right. So having said that, with the non-interest-bearing account, the way that's set up is that the insurance on a non-interest-bearing account exceeds the $250,000 per person on any given account.
Correct.
Having said that, you're thinking right now in terms of the retail side of the banking system. When you walk into a bank, what you're seeing is the retail end of it. You're not realizing when you might be walking into that same bank that there's a private sector to the bank. It doesn't have a big sign that says, like it says exit by the door. It doesn't have a sign that says private bank. But there is a private sector to the bank. On the private side, which is not seen, in that area, they usually have what's called trust accounts. Those trust accounts are fully insured, 100%. They're not dealing in the same way as the public side. Those trust accounts, all of that money has to be accounted for at all times. You're dealing with a completely different animal here. So having said that, with these kinds of funds that are being transferred, primarily you want to be involved with a tax attorney, you want to be involved with all the professionals that you need to surround you, including a private banker who can guide you the right way to the degree of introducing you to a lot of these different professionals in different areas of what you're going to need. Having said that, they will then guide you to where you to safeguard your money. One thing I can assure you of this is with all of the dinarians that are hopefully going to see an RV here and turn their lives around, prior to this happening, there's an awful lot of wealthy people in this country already. And those people have millions upon millions of dollars, and they have them in safeguarded accounts. And I can guarantee you it's not all in a regular checking or savings account on the public side. So the bottom line is that this can be secure, and you will find out most of this stuff after the RV takes place. Before that, it's just a guessing game, and it really can't go any further than that. Okay,
yes.
sir?
Yes, I understand. And my concern with the personal banker I was speaking to is that, and she attested that people are coming in, and the dinarians are coming in, and they're opening private checking accounts, and they're specifically asking for no-interest accounts. And I think that the people who are doing that are thinking, because I remember perhaps a month or 2 months ago it was a rage everywhere about these tag accounts. And the no-interest account is not a tag account. They are not going to be insured over $250,000. And the other interesting aside to the tag accounts that I never verified myself is that I understand that the tag accounts were only set up for dinars and for nothing else. Is that your understanding?
No, it's not my understanding.
Can I jump in here?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yes.
I'm about ready to crawl out of my skin. Tag accounts were set up because the banks were not taking deposits when they were afraid there was going to be a run on the bank when the banks were failing back in the 80s when all this loan crisis came in. People weren't putting their money in the banks. They were taking them out because they weren't insured high enough because the banks were failing. So they introduced these tag accounts in order to get people to come in and put money into banks, to be assured that if that bank failed, that they would have more FDIC insurance on that. So the only reason you want an account to be insured is if you think your bank is going out of business, because that's when that kicks in. If your bank is going to go out of business, you need to be out of their way before that happens. But that's why the tag accounts were set up. They were specifically designed for when the housing crisis started. They didn't want to have a run on the banks like we did in 1929, so they set these accounts up so people would feel good that they're insured. They're phasing those out. They're no longer going to be around. They were not set up specifically for denarians at all. That's what they were designed for. So it's not like Yugon says, unless your bank's going to go out or you're dealing with the private side, you're only worried that you're going to lose everything if that bank goes out of business. So if you have a larger bank that you're dealing with, one of the big fours, you're probably in very good shape, or some of your local private banks that are very strong in your areas, you probably know who those are. So that's what those are designed for those types of situations.
Well, my other understanding and my concern was that the dollar may devalue 30, 60, 90 days out, and the dollar may devalue 40 to 60%, and the dollar that will devalue would be the Federal Reserve dollar. My understanding is that these tag accounts were to be paid out as U.S. Treasury notes. So
there is no such thing. There is no such thing as U.S. Treasury note. They don't exist. The Treasury doesn't put out dollars. They're not allowed to. The Federal Reserve puts out dollars. This nonsense about these being 40 to 50%, and they're going to issue these Treasury notes and back them with gold. We don't have enough money to back anything with gold. We have $15 trillion in debt. In order for us to back our money with gold, we'd have to come up with $15 trillion worth of gold to back that. Our country does not have that. The reason our money has value is because it's an oil dollar. Every barrel of oil that's traded, we get 20 cents back to our Treasury from every dollar. So that's why we have some value in our currency. This Treasury note, this 40 to 60% devalue, is all a bunch of internet caca. It doesn't exist. It's a conspiracy theory. There's a bunch of global socialists that have got involved with this, that believe that all the world is going to shift and that the poor countries are going to get richer and the rich countries are going to give their wealth to these poor countries. It's a socialistic view of what's going on in the world, and they've infiltrated the dinar community. And they've got all these crazy theories. Now, there was a executive order that allowed the Treasury to issue Treasury notes. That was from JFK, and it's never been taken off the books. That's how this exists. That's how this conspiracy theory exists. But our Federal Reserve System is not going to crash. They're not going to let go of it. They make too much money on loaning our country's money and being the middleman. And they're large banks. They're just one big, large bank, and they're not going to let that go, because if they do, then everything goes down. So be careful what you hear out there. It's a lot of somebody else's nonsense.
So when the time comes, if
in
I
Wisconsin,
have to...
I'm sorry, sir, but we've been with this a long time. I really got to let the other... Okay, I'm sorry.
Thank you very much.
You're welcome. New York, you're up, please.
Yeah. All right. Thank you very much. I wanted to share something with you, but before I share that, I just wanted to let you know how great of a job you guys are doing. The amount of hours, effort, that you put into this is great. I mean, you're part of my family right now because I spend like 9 hours a week with you now, and I don't know what's going to happen after the RV, but hey, listen, you are great.
Thank you.
Yeah, and I have learned, everything I have learned is probably 99% I have learned is based on what you have in your website and what you have been told through all this data that I've been into this great information you've been passing down since September last year. And I've been in the business for a while now, since 2005. I'm a soldier. I heard about it. I say, this is great. I'm going to buy this, put it away. I don't care when RV. But now that we're getting close, and you guys gave me all the motivation, energies that I have right now, and I share that with other people. I share that with my friends, my families, and even with my enemy, okay? And hell with those people who talking about that the dollar's going to go down. It's not going to go down. This is the greatest country in the whole world, and this is why I fight for this country. Because we just go to other country to help people. We help our people here, and we go to other country to help people. It doesn't going to happen. I don't care what anybody said. But anyway, I just want to share this with you that I got through trying to help some of my relatives, and happened to be the Dominican Republic. they happen to know somebody who's from an Iraqi citizen. They happen to be a doctor there. He went to university there. They graduated, a bunch of brothers. And they was living in the Dominican Republic, but very soon they're going back to Iraq because they're rich and they got money. And they're going back. They have family there. They got money. They got a lot of property. And one of the things they were saying, after I had talked to my family down there, and I said, listen, this is a great opportunity. You might want to change some of that peso and bring it and send them over here, and I take care of you. Well, she had talked to the Iraqi citizen there, and he everything I told her, which is I learned in your website and also in the conference call, exactly the same thing. And I don't retain much, but you know what? Exactly what I told her, she came back and told me exactly the same thing that they told her. And one of the things to mention right there, that's what I want to share that with you, because still some people over there that have some doubt. Come on, let's do this and just help a lot of people. He said that the government been telling the people there that they got to keep the money. And that might be the reason why there's not people putting money in the bank. I'm just saying that. They say keep your money because your money is going to be worth something. It's going to have some value. And it's not going to be too long. It's going to be soon. So that's what everybody's doing over there. He went on and he said that their money is going to be coming at $9. But now I know what Shabibi been saying because I learned that or heard that through you guys. That it's going to be money flow. And I know the fact that he's not going to come out probably $9. Okay, we're going to come out $1.72. Maybe it'll be 20% above whatever Kuwait is. Okay, but they had the idea is based on what happened in Kuwait. I mean, because we know what happened in Kuwait one time went all the way to $9. I learned that with you too. He said that. He said it's going to be $9. I just want to share that with you. What he say is citizen of Kuwait. He's in DR, Dominican Republic. This guy is really ready to go back. They have a clinic and there, and they're ready to go back because they have a lot of stuff, a lot of assets there and money and stuff, and they want to go back, and that's it. And he say, well, that's a great idea. Not only that, this guy happened to go to Puerto Rico, and he's saying, Puerto Rico, everybody bought this stuff. They bought everything there. I mean, there's no more dinar there. So I just want to share that with you again for those people. I mean, this is a great event. It's a great opportunity. And it's something that really is going to help a lot of people. And you, the IQD team, all of you are doing a wonderful job, and you're doing a great job to share this with people. And now you're putting a lot of hours. Just to be sitting there for 3 hours, okay, that doesn't mean a lot. You put in a lot of hours, a lot of dedication and motivation. You gave me the energy and the motivation for me to spread that thing to other people. And just, Mike, they call me crazy too, but it doesn't matter. Okay, that's what I wanted to share.
Thank you for your service,
wow.
and we appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yeah, it's basically, I mean, it's everywhere. This thing is, this is great. This is great. I just wanted to share that.
Thank you.
Well,
have a good evening.
You too. Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, New York. Virginia, you are next. Virginia?
All right. Just one question. Is this thing inevitable?
Nothing in life is inevitable. There's always risks associated with anything that you do. There's always something that can come in at the last minute and do it. Nobody can give you guarantees. Is this the next best thing? You know, is everything right? Has this happened? Can this happen? Yes, it can. But to say it's inevitable would be a very strong word. But yes, it can happen. And from what we see in the newspapers and what we've seen in Kuwait, we've seen it happen before. We know that this happens in other countries, and so we're watching it very closely. But it's also because because you can gain so much, there's a lot of risk involved. It's a brand new country. There's a lot of countries around them that don't want to see them succeed. So there's always risk in anything that you do. You have to determine and evaluate that risk and understand it. And once you do that and look at the facts, then you can have a better understanding of where you stand with the investment.
Well, hey, that's why you give it to us straight talking Mike. All right, thank you, sir.
Thanks, Virginia. Oregon, you're up.
Hi, this is Oregon.
Hi.
Hi, thank you for taking my call.
Sure.
My husband and I we've only been involved with this probably just about a week now, and we're kind of babies to this whole process. So you guys have been really good with educating us, and I appreciate that. My question would be, why is it that The information on the dinar is not more public, made more public, like on mainstream media. Is it due to the fact that there would be such an influx of people, coming in and buying up all the dinar? Just wanting to know why more people don't know about this. We actually heard about it from a friend of ours. So if anybody has any suggestions or insight as to why it is not on, more mainstream media.
I can. Let me answer that because you're kind of right, and you've kind of figured it out common sense-wise. But one, revaluations in currency plays like this are very, very quiet, and people don't ever really know about them. Kuwait happened very quietly in the night, and there were just a few people who understood what was going on and were able to understand and take advantage of it. But because of our soldiers and because of the situation and people being interested in it in the Internet, it's become very public. To a lot of people. So we get the information, we find it, we understand it. And the mainstream media is never going to tell anybody that they can buy such a small amount and end up with a large amount of dollars because there would be such a panic and a run in this country that you wouldn't be able to believe it. And it would actually kill whatever economy is trying to virgin itself because there would be too much demand for their old dollars, and that could really drive inflation up in their country and kill what they're doing. So this is just a very private event. You're very lucky to hear about it because it's not something that you will ever hear again about. And basically because of the special circumstances and some of the orders and the, what's the name of the document again, Diana? The
Future of Iraq.
Thank you. The Future of Iraq project document actually laid out what they were going to do and what they were trying to do. So there was sort of a trail that the community was able to dig out and take a look at and bring it to the forefront to understand what was actually taking place. So you probably would never see anything about an RV in the mainstream media. Even when Kuwait RV'd, it was just a few sentences in the newspaper, and that was it, and it was done, it was over, because they're very, very, very quiet events.
Well, thank you. I appreciate it. We do feel pretty blessed to be involved with this, and I thank you for helping me out with that.
You're welcome.
Thank
Have
you,
a great
Arden.
evening.
Good night.
Texas, you're up, please. Texas?
Hello, IQT team. How are y'all this morning or this evening?
Great, Texas. How are you?
I'm good. Just got a quick question regarding what Mike had said about this not being an actual investment or us investing into Iraq. Because I think I'm kind of conflicted as trying to understand how many of us have taken money that was worth something, shortchanged it for money that's worth nothing, and it's not an actual investment. And if it's not an investment, then how can it be taxable? That's my question.
Well, one, it's taxable because currency exchanges are taxable under our law. But two, a traditional investment, you take your dollars and you put it into an investment, and then that money goes to that person, to that company, and they actually go out and do things with that. With this particular thing, we're buying currency. It's like buying American dollars. If somebody outside the country has an American dollar, they're not actually investing in America. If they hold it, they don't spend it, and it never makes its way back.
All right.
And essentially, that's what's happening. It's not like a piece of stock. It's not like anything that's going. The dollars that we're purchasing aren't going back to Kuwait. They're just going into our own economy, and we're holding it. And eventually, someday, they'll make it back, but it's not a true investment in the forms of you buy a stock, the company gets it, and they get to go out. Whereas if we went over to Iraq, actually took money into that country, built something, and gave money into that country, that would be a true investment into Iraq. But currency exchanges are taxable under our law, under our IRS law, because people they just want to get a piece of it. But it truly is a currency exchange. It's not like owning a piece of Iraq by owning their money, like a stock certificate or something like that. Hopefully that makes a little sense to you.
It does. And in reference to the tag account, the FDIC, I understand, has, as long as you open a non-interest-bearing account, currently right now FDIC is insuring those accounts unlimited, correct?
I don't think it's unlimited. I think it's gone up to $250 or $350. They were doing it for a while to get people to invest, but it's not unlimited. There are limits on that, and we have that on our website, what those limits are under pre- and post-RV, so you can check those out and links to the FDIC and all that kind of stuff. That'll let you look at it for yourself. All righty?
All right, appreciate that, Mike. Thank you.
Thank you. You have a good evening.
You too.
Thank you, Texas. Colorado, you're up.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes, we can.
Okay. The other night you were talking about the CBI spread. What was that percentage that you said? I didn't catch what you said there.
We didn't talk a percentage yet. There's usually, a spread between what you can buy it at and what you can sell it at, and that's traditional in currencies. Sometimes it's anywhere from 0.5% to 1%, but it really depends on what the CBI wants to charge for taking in, and handling that transaction, buying and selling. And that's generally set up because people travel to those countries, and there's room for dealers to make a little bit of money in the transfer of those currencies. So it's usually around 1% to 2%, but they can set it at whatever they want. It could be as high as 10 if they choose to do that. But it's usually set in dinars, how many dinars they want to do. But eventually, when they become a tradable currency, it becomes a percentage. The spread becomes a percentage between the buy and the sell, and that's set by the CBI.
Okay, so if we go to the dealer, we'll just have to pay the CBI spread, and if we go to the bank, we have to pay the bank spread and the CBI, or how's that going to work?
Yeah, generally it'll just be one spread. It's all based off of what the CBI puts out there, so everybody will work off of whatever the CBI is buying and selling. So the banks will set their rates and their spreads accordingly to that to make their profit, and that will be purely negotiable. And so where the dealers will set their spread, and that's all negotiable because those spreads are negotiable to the banks.
Okay, thank you for everything you're doing, and we appreciate you.
Thank you, Colorado. California, you had a question out there for Mike? California?
California?
There you go.
Oh, thank you. Hi, Mike. How you doing?
Good. How you doing this evening?
Good, thank you. The other night I was on your call, and you talked something about when Turkey revaluated. And
yes.
We're assuming, or not assuming, let's just say that we're talking about a $25,000 note of dinar when it revaluates is worth $25,000. And I heard earlier tonight that for 2 years you'll have the old currency and the new currency, and the old currency will be recognized for approximately 2 years.
Yes.
What happened in Turkey where there was two currencies, what were you talking about the other night? I didn't understand, where Turkey revaluated, but they didn't honor
Turkey revaluated and redenominated at the same time. They lopped and they did what everybody said they were going to do here, and they gave a short period of window to exchange for all the old currency for the new currency, and they gave you less new currency than they did old currency, and it ended up creating too much inflation in their country, and it took them 3 to 5 years to get back.
Okay, I understand now what you said the other night. So the question, which is the same question that regards to this, what would prevent, in your opinion, Iraq doing that?
You need to go to our website, and we have.
Yeah, I did, and I couldn't. Go ahead. You're going to tell me the.
We have Debbie. What's we have the LOP stuff on our website.
It's under pre and post RV, and then on the right hand side it says LOP, LOP.
Okay, but there's also something. Another gentleman said the other night to go on to monetizing or something.
Money, modern money mechanics.
Yeah. Okay, and where's that? That's the one I couldn't find. Same place. And where's it again?
Under pre and post RV.
Okay.
You hit that tab, and then on the right hand side are all these categories, and you'll see LOP, and you'll see modern money mechanics.
Okay. Just in your opinion, Mike, why would that not happen in Iraq?
You have to go through those things. It's really explained there. It's too hard to explain in a few minutes to do that because it just creates too much inflation. And if you don't understand those two things,
so you don't. I guess by gathering your demeanor here, you don't think that's something that would happen.
No, they've told us it's not going to happen, and it's hard to explain. But once you get a grasp on those articles, you'll have a better understanding of why they won't do that because of the modern money mechanics. It just creates too much inflation. It's kind of like supply side versus
And they're trying to lower inflation now, right?
Yes, yeah. And
so it would be doing the opposite. It would be doing the opposite.
Right. That's basically it in a nutshell, but that's really simplistic. If you read that, you'll get a better understanding.
Hey, thanks for everything, all you guys, not just Mike. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Okay, I'll take 4 states right now.
Florida.
I'm sorry, you've Canada?
Arizona.
Wisconsin.
D.C.
Okay, I got Wisconsin and D.C. I got 5. That's it for now. Florida, Canada, Arizona, Wisconsin, and D.C. Florida, you're up.
Diana, it's Debbie.
I know.
Okay, well, I got an email from somebody. I wanted to address it.
Marhaba.
To Ari. He said, you mentioned on your site that once the RB happens, we will have access to multiple private bankers. I'm not sure that's our site, but we don't have that access. We have, and then she goes, my main bank is Chase Bank, and I have a card to one of the bank managers that I say hello to whenever I see her. I also have another account with B of A. Do both of these banks qualify as private bankers? What I'd like to say is I posted something today, and that's why I'm bringing this up and reading this email. It's called My Private Banking, Independent Advice to Get More Out of Your Wealth Manager. And it's on pre- and post-RV, and it's the very first article you'll see at the top, or it's under private banking. And this is a site that you can get almost anything you want to know about private banking and any banks that are associated with private banking. It's a great site that Brenda sent me today. And it's got private banking directory listings, user ratings of wealth managers and private banks, wealth guides, and then, of course, we have all the questions you would ask private bankers. So I wanted to bring that out to everybody, let y'all know that's there. It's a really good site. The only other question they had was, lastly, I purchased my dinar from Dinar Banker, also known as the Sterling Currency Group. I know that once the RV happens, I can make arrangements to cash out with them. What would be the advantage of using a private bank instead? Would someone like to address that?
Always the advantage of using a private banker is because of the know your customer rules that are associated with the terrorism laws, that they know you, they know who you are, that they know that you're a person that has this type of wealth, they know where you got the wealth from, and they're your first line of defense that can help you with any type of situations that you may come up. You have a personal relationship with them. It's not a one-time relationship that you're going to use and be done with them. And you're going to have trusted people and advisors that are going to be attached to the reputation of your bank. So they have a lot to lose if they push you down the wrong path. And you as a customer, your friends in the neighborhood and all that stuff. So they're really there. The only advantage you have is in the beginning was maybe possibly getting a better rate at cash-in from the dinar brokers, but we will have to wait and see how that comes out and what the rates are, and that's really a post-RV kind of advantage or disadvantage that we would have there. But dealing with your private bank is always preferable because they know you, and you've got someone that you can go to. Like the lady said, she gives her card to the manager of the bank. He knows you every day when you walk in, and if there's a problem, you can go to that manager and you can say, I have an issue, this is what's going on, can you help me fix it, and they will work their butt off. When you're doing a one-time transaction, that's it. You have no relationship there. It's only a one-time transaction, and you're ending up at your bank that you're going to be at when you transfer that money. So you're probably really better off trying to establish that relationship. And then when it RVs, we can look at the difference of whether it's more advantageous to cash in with the dinar bankers or the banks, because then we'll know what the rates are and the spreads and all that kind of stuff.
Plus, Michael, with the dealing with the bank, you wouldn't have to worry about a wire transfer either.
Yes, that's true too. It's coming straight. They're going to give it to you, and it's there. That's another good one, Tim.
Okay. Thanks, Debbie, for bringing that up.
No problem. Thanks.
Canada, you are up.
Hi, guys. We're out here in Canada, and some of us are out in B.C., small town area. It's been a great call. This is our first time on this call.
Welcome.
Good thing. We just wondered, we were just listening to the last caller mentioning private banks. We had actually contacted our bank that we deal with regularly, speaking to them about the dinars, and I don't know if they were just pretending, but they didn't say they knew what it was. They didn't know anything about it, so they suggested us calling an exchange. Just out of curiosity, where would we go in Canada to exchange these dinars if you're in a city or in a small town, and would it be similar to the private bank that you mentioned earlier?
I don't know a lot about Canada. However, I do know that TD Bank from Canada was dealing heavily in the dinars and knows a lot about it. And this is going to be one of these situations where we're going to know more post-RV than we will pre-RV, because it's a non-international traded currency. It's what they would call an exotic currency in the bank, and not all banks deal with that currency, so they might not know what it is at this point in time. However, when it RVs and becomes an international currency, it would be similar to an American dollar up there, or a British pound, euro, any of those types of things that you would be able to go into the bank and exchange, and they will have a much better idea once they get educated after the RV that this money's out there and that it's exchangeable, and they will be better able to serve you. And it is our estimation that most of the major banks will be able to deal with this in some sort of way, but we're going to have better information post-RV than we will pre-RV. Hopefully that answers that for you.
Terrific. Thank you. We have a bit of a thing up here with TD Bank and mortgages, so we'd like to stay away from them if we could. Yeah. But probably the major banks were hoping, the credit unions didn't have a clue what we were talking about, but it might just have been the timing, and hopefully we're hoping that once things get through, everybody will kind of know, whether privately or publicly, but we'll know what to do.
Yes, ma'am, that's a good thing. You're on the right track.
Thank you guys so much. You're doing a great job. We'll keep listening to you.
Thank you so much, Canada. Arizona.
Hi, Diana.
Hi,
this
honey.
Is Linda in Arizona.
How are you?
I'm doing well. This is for Diana and all the mods. This is some comic relief.
I love it.
For the person
we need it tonight.
And anyone else who asks about why would Iraq not do the
Muted.
lot.
Well, hold on a second, Linda. Oh, she got it. Oh, we got
Unmuted.
it.
No, I didn't.
Okay, go ahead.
Somebody did.
Okay, so some comic relief as to why Iraq would not do the LOP. In the 1980s, there was a great little slogan that said, "Don't let the turkeys get you down."
Gobble, gobble.
Oh, you're so funny.
We needed that.
Yes, thank you, Linda. We can always count on you for a laugh.
No charge.
Thank you. Oh, goodness, so cute. Okay, did you have a question, or you were just coming on just to give us some cheer? Okay.
I think she's cheering us up.
Linda, I'm sorry. I don't know why you were muted. Was that it, Linda?
Yes.
Okay, I just want to make sure you didn't have a question. Thanks so much,
no,
honey.
It's fine. Okay.
Okay. Bye-bye. Wisconsin, you're up.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Real quickly, I got two, but the real quick one is if you copy your dinar to get that serial number, it isn't any good unless you go when you cash it in, you have the banker sign it. Isn't that right? Doesn't do you any good to copy it, does it?
No, you have a record of it, but I don't know if you get any banker to sign anything that you give them from a legal standpoint. It's just for your record. You're copying to make sure that you know that you have them and you can match those up for your record. So if there were any problems that you had, you can go back to the place where you bought it and clear it up with them.
Okay. Here's the bigger one. I actually spent a lot of time on this one. There's so much. I got so angry with everything that was being told to me. But I got a non-interest-bearing account because I thought I'd wire whatever is in there, and then from there, after your bankers and everything that you hire and all that, then take it out. Well, I'll go down to Wells Fargo, and he says 500,000 is the limit, and the Fed's going to freeze it. Automatic. So you can't put all your money in there. You can only, you can only put that much in. The way I'm hearing it. If you do put it in there, it won't be insured. Well, yeah, it might be. But he said the Fed will actually freeze it and come in and take a look or something. Because it's. Do you have anything on that?
Yeah, under the terrorism laws, the Fed has the ability to look at any accounts, freeze any accounts, do anything they want if they feel that the money is associated with terrorism or drugs or any of that type of stuff, or if it's outside your normal transactions. If your bank doesn't know you and that type of stuff, yeah, you could run into a problem with it, and you need to research that, and you need to know those things before you start opening accounts, transferring money, and doing all that type of stuff. You can get things tied up pretty good.
Right. Well, the personal banker is the one that told me. It wasn't,
Yeah.
And he said it was law.
And they would know.
Yeah. So, do you have any ideas how a guy would do it? Just get 30 or 40 banks and put less than 500 in it, or what?
Well, one, if you're worried about your bank going out of business, you should talk to your private banker. If he's a private banker and you're going to use that, he would probably help you with extra insurance if you felt that you needed it on that. And if
I just don't want the Feds. I want the Feds coming in.
Yeah, well, unfortunately, anything over $3,000, they're going to know what's going on. So if you go to your private banker and you deal directly with one bank, that's one way to have an advocate on your side who can walk you through this and tell you what are the ways to do this to keep everything, clean, so that if they do come in, that the private banker steps in and says, yeah, we know this guy, this is what's going on, and he can help clear that stuff up. Personal relationships with your bankers are very good ideas to have any of this, because they have to know their customer, and if they know you and they know what you're doing, they're going to have a better idea of explaining it when it comes through and it gets flagged, rather than you trying to do it on your own.
Okay, that's a good idea. I got a good relationship down there. Thank you.
Thank you, Wisconsin. DC, you are up. DC?
Hello?
Hi.
Hello?
Hi there.
Hi, how are you?
All right, how are you?
Good. I read somewhere where it said that if we deduct a lot of money out of our accounts or wire transfer or whatever have you, that it was going to get frozen for some reason?
We just talked about that with the last question.
Okay.
Yeah, that's the exact same thing that we were talking about. You just want to have a very good relationship with the bank that you're going to. Make sure if you have your account there, you're talking to people. This is why it's very important when this thing RVs not to do anything. Come to the call, maybe take a few in to get a few dollars for yourself, but then we'll have a better understanding when it happens and people get caught with this, that we'll be able to know what the situation is, know how to do things, know how to get around, having what you need to make sure that you can make any transition smoothly for yourself. So it's a really good reason not to really rush out right away. Take your time and to know what you're doing before you actually go in and do things.
So basically wait a couple of weeks before you cash out everything.
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, Mike.
Thank you. Have a good one.
Hey, Mike, let me step up to the plate here if I could.
Please do.
I'm starting to smell something here. And I have to say this because if I'm correct, then everybody needs to hear this. Whatever's being put out there, that this can be frozen and this can be taken away and blah, 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 blah. I don't know where everybody's all of a sudden getting this, but we're getting a number of questions to this nature tonight. Obviously, it's coming from somewhere. And what I'm thinking, Mike, is that somebody might be putting out some fear tactics to possibly have another agenda in mind.
Yeah.
Of saying, we'll take care of it for you type of routine. You understand where I'm coming from on this, Mike?
Yeah, I do. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a good thing you're sniffing it.
So, people, please be careful of, number one, what you're hearing out there and what you're following, because there are some people that would love to get their hands on your dinar, and your investment would be gone down the drain faster than you ever got it. So having said that, I'll just leave it at that, Mike.
Yeah, and, me and Debbie, whenever we hear these things, we try to go out and find specifics for you guys. We haven't found any specifics on the $500,000, although it sounds like it's something that could happen. But we try to get it up on the website with a post or get it out when we hear these things. So always go to our website. We try to do our best to debunk anything that we hear so that you don't run into that. But always, Yukon, your advice is outstanding and wonderful. And I'll give it back to you, Diana.
I did find something on that today. I just haven't posted it yet, so it'll be up there tomorrow on the 500,000.
Okay. Good. So we try to track it down and get it out there so we know what's fact.
Where should I view everything on your website?
Okay, well, tomorrow there'll be something on there about that 500,000 just for you.
It'll be under pre and post RV is generally where that stuff is, or on our blog.
Yeah.
All right, we only have time for one more caller.
California?
California, we got California. You're at California.
Oh.
Go ahead, California.
I'll make it really quick. This is Mr. Anonymous, and I've written about a couple of these things in the articles. And if people haven't seen the articles that Deb has been so kind to repost up there for me, make sure you get on the Twitter with you guys. I also did a whole article, so if you guys aren't familiar with how to get set up with Twitter, I did a whole step-by-step process for people to get on the Twitter. So once they get on the Twitter, they'll see the articles and the debunks and all that stuff that you guys put out all day long. You can't just rely on dinar recaps and some of those other boards that are tweeting out. You really need to get on the IQD tweet and follow the IQD team. So I just wanted to throw that out there, remind everybody. I know you mentioned it earlier, Deb, but by the way, fantastic call tonight. Really enjoyed it a lot, and thanks for everything you guys do for the community. And maybe there's enough room for that other gentleman to get on.
Yes, Blackhawk, you can come right on.
All right. How'd you know it was me? Anyway.
Oh, thank you, California.
Yeah, thank you, California, for saving space for me. Anyway, listen, I heard that joke right there. What's going on? I just got on the call. I thought maybe I asked Mike how many steps did we take this week, and did I miss something? Did the RV happen and we didn't get a chance to cash out, or what?
2 steps and you're done.
Yeah, it was about 2 steps. No,
you don't have to recap it, but
no, I'm not going to recap for you.
Week.
But we did good. There was lots of positive things going on out there today. We were happy with the Kuwait issues and some other stuff. So for all those that want to hear, you can call back in and get the replay as soon as we're done.
Right. How many steps, Mike, did the government take this week?
3 to 4.
I know you guys are 4?
3 to 4, yes, sir.
3 to 4.
Yep.
All
and
right.
We'll know more after Sunday, because if the Kuwait thing comes through, then it was a major plus to get them moving towards getting out of Chapter 7. So.
All right. Well, sounds good. Marhaba, everybody. And am I saying that right? You guys laugh at me every time I say it.
It's so cute the way
it's your
you
Chicago
say it.
accent, man.
Is that what it is?
That's what
it's actually marhaba, but I like marhaba better.
Oh. When I was in Florida, some lady thought I was from Queens. Anyway.
I got to say, I got a giggle too, because when you and Mike are talking about these steps, it reminds me of the kids' game, Mother May I, you may take 2 baby steps, 2 ballerina steps, right?
All right, sounds good. I'll listen to the
nobody
replay.
Gets sent back.
No, there is no steps back anymore.
Okay, good. There we go.
How many steps do we have to go? No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Every time I say that, they ask me, well, how many more we got to go?
If I knew that, man, I would be on an island with my crystal ball, and I wouldn't be talking to anyone.
That's right.
Well, let me know, okay?
You got it.
Hey, listen, just call Shabibi and tell him to get it done, Mike. I know you got his phone number.
I got his cell phone number. I'll give him a buzz. I'll see what he says.
1-800-SHABIBI. Yeah, 1-800-SHABIBI,
thank you guys
right?
very much. What was that?
1-800-SHABIBI, yeah.
Yeah, 1-800-SHABIBI. There you go.
Mm-hmm, yeah.
All right,
Diana.
Hey, good night, everybody.
Okay.
I appreciate it. I'll listen to that replay later.
Good night,
Take care, buddy. Thank you.
Good night.
Okay.
Diana.
Yes.
I just wanted to say something to that lady who was asking about Canada. On that site I mentioned, it's other countries as well, and there was Canada private banks on there too.
Excellent. Thank you so much.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, folks. Well, UConn.
And the playback number is?
The playback number is 76. I feel like the Lotto girl.
Love you, Mama. Good night.
760-569-7699. Participant code 769-478#.
Did I win?
I know, right?
Shake up those balls.
I ain't touching that one with my hand.
Oh, don't you dare.
Stay off that, you guys. Stay off that.
Yeah, you got that right. Good night, everybody. You guys have been absolutely great. Keep your head straight. Keep your body straight. Make sure it's either vertical or horizontal.
Solar flares.
Have
Solar
a great
flares.
night, everybody.
Thank
you. Yeah.
Hey, look at the. Hey, got some flash news here. Look at the. Look at the Dinar Daddy's 8-ball. They just said Maliki has had everything cleared up with Kuwait. They're forgiving everything. Y'all look at the Dinar Daddy 8-ball. It just now came out.
All right.